Welcome back to Adrian's Avenue, and on this channel we like to help you make better decisions for a better life. And today we're going to talk about a topic that we haven't really spent much time on lately, but we're going to bring it up because I want you to ask yourself, are you truly rich or are you just getting by? Some people make the mistake of thinking the more money they make, the richer they are, but let me tell you, there's some high earning people that they make a certain amount of money, but they spend that and even more sometimes. So are you truly rich or are you just getting by? We're going to talk about net worth today. All right, stay tuned. We're going to spend a little time on net worth today because it's another measure of your wealth. A lot of people don't bring it up, they don't talk about it. You hear a lot of people talking about how much money they make every year and how much their business is pulling in. But when you start talking about long-term wealth and actually measuring it from year to year to year, you need to know your net worth. And there are different definitions even for net worth. And the one that we're going to focus more on is just simply thinking of if you sold everything you had, paid off everything you owe, that would be your net worth. So your assets minus your liabilities, all of them would be your net worth. Some folks like to take your home out of the equation. But bottom line, if you were to sell everything, including your home, that would be a part of your assets coming in, or if you owed more on your home than it was worth, that would be a liability. So we have to consider, in my mind, everything, not just businesses, not just rental property, but everything, including your car. And I'm going to give you that short list of assets as well as the liabilities that you need to think about when you start calculating your net worth, because I do want you to go in and calculate your net worth. Write that number down. Then next year, around the same time, go in and calculate your net worth again. This will help you build wealth in the future and know exactly where you are, where you stand, where the money is. If it's in, like for me, the money's in the bricks. So the money's in real estate. I can't just get my hands on it and pull it out, but it is a part of my net worth. Okay. Next up, we're going to talk about your assets. The first thing we want to do to discovering our net worth is to write down all of our assets. And these assets will include, and the first thing would be cash and bank accounts. That would be the first asset that will be included. Another thing you want to include, the value of your investment accounts. You want to include that. If you have a car, that is an asset if there's some value left in your car. So make sure you include that. The market value of your home. So what your home could actually sell for on the market, not what the tax people say, the property tax people say, but actually the market value of your home. Any business interest that you may have out there, that would be a part of your net worth. Personal properties such as jewelry, fine art, these are things that you could go and sell. Anything that you could go and sell and get your hands on some money would be a part of your net worth. And that is pretty much what your net worth is. Those items that you can go and sell wherever you can sell. And you have to get a good number as to what the value of them are. So you can't think that, okay, since I paid $1,000 for this watch, that I can go sell it for $1,000. Probably not, because it's used and it's probably not going up in value. It's going down in value. So be realistic with the things that you can actually go and sell and put them over in the asset category of how much you can actually get for those items. Next up, liabilities. When we look at liabilities, it's exactly what the word is saying. A liability is something that you are liable for. You signed your name on a dotted line, said that you were going to pay. And so this is something that you're responsible for paying. So you are liable for whatever the item is, such as in the if you bought a home and let's say it was $300,000 and you took out a mortgage on it and you owe still $250,000 on it. Well, you don't have an asset of $300,000. You have an asset of, when you take away what you owe and what it's worth, it's going to come out to $50,000. So that would go on the asset side. But that liability is what you're going to be subtracting from your assets. So let's take a look at your liabilities. Of course, I said a home. So the mortgage that you have on the home is a liability. If you have a car loan, that's also a liability. If you have any other kind of loans out there that you owe on, that amount, what you owe, is a liability. If you have credit card balances, they are liabilities because you would have to pay those off. If you have a student loan, that's a liability. So all of these are liabilities. They are taken away from your assets or the money that you would have in an asset. So simply, once you calculate all your assets, calculate all your liabilities, and subtract that, that would be your net worth. In some cases, the net worth, hopefully in most cases, the net worth will be positive. But in some cases, the net worth is actually negative. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about what to do to get that net worth in the positive, in the black if it's negative, and grow it more in the black into the green if it's positive. But before we go on, make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on the latest information as it becomes available to you. I appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you for being here. And hopefully this net worth conversation is going to increase your net worth or be valuable to you. So now we know salary is not your net worth, and net worth is actually how millionaires calculate and consider themselves millionaires. If your assets or minus your liabilities are at 1 million or over, you are considered a millionaire. But we know that your job alone is not the thing that's going to make you a millionaire or just completely is the definition of your net worth. It's more than that. But it is important because your salary that you have coming in will add to your net worth. So if your salary is unstable, and in today's time when people are being let go from government jobs and other kind of jobs, cutting back on the economy, this is something that you have to consider, because if all of a sudden that money that you depended on and relied on a regular basis is now cut off, that is going to affect your net worth to a certain extent. So make sure you want to look at how solid your job is. And if your job is not that solid, you may start looking to do something else. But a job is a part of your net worth because it contributes to your net worth, but it's not everything. And don't bank on your job being your complete net worth. Just remember, if you make $1 million a year, does not mean that you're a millionaire. It means that you're making $1 million a year, because there are millionaires, or there are people that make $1 million a year. But if you spend $1,000,001, you're broke. You're not a millionaire. All right. So let's just keep that in mind. Another thing that will help your net worth and help grow it is to pay down your liabilities. If you pay down your liabilities, your assets normally increase, such as in a mortgage. The more you pay the mortgage down, you don't owe on it. And normally over time, the value of the house goes up. So there are a lot of millionaires that's based off of the real estate that they own. And whether it's their home or whether it's rental property, that will help them become closer to bringing their net worth up. So that's what you want to look at. But paying your credit cards down, even if you don't owe the $10,000, $20,000, whatever you owe on your credit cards, that is giving you back that much in net worth. It's 100% dollar for dollar when it comes to that, because you will take that you owe and take it out of the equation at that point in time because you don't owe it anymore. So paying down debt is number one for building your net worth. So jump on that right away. Another good way of increasing your net worth, and this is playing offense, is putting money in investments. This could be the 401k, it could be a Roth IRA, something that will work on your behalf. We've talked about these vehicles several times as far as putting money in there and letting your money grow for you. So this is a great way of increasing your net worth, because you're putting money and then you're seeing the magic of compound interest. Even if you put it into a savings account, you're seeing the magic of compound interest help you over time. Time is on your side when it comes to assets and your money actually working for you. So this is a great way of increasing your net worth. And you all, it won't take a long time to do this. If you focus on the basics of paying your liabilities down and putting more money toward your assets or growing your money, you would be surprised how quickly your net worth will change around, especially if it's negative right now. If it's negative, you need to work on paying those liabilities down. If it's positive, continue to pay your liabilities down, but also focus on investing, in your 401k, if you're buying stock, if you're buying index funds, mutual funds, whatever it is that you invest in, you want to continue to do that on a consistent basis. It doesn't take a whole lot of money up front, but if you do it consistently over time, that will help increase your net worth. Think about it. The last thing I will say about increasing your net worth goes back to the money that you're bringing into the household. Now, we know you have salary jobs if you're still working. However, there may be a way that you can increase that salary, either getting better reviews at work or having some type of side business to increase the money coming in. And if you want to eventually go into your own business, you can do that. Finances with the money that you're making at your 9 to 5 to go into business and start making more money that way. But increasing your income coming into the household is another way of helping your net worth. You can't go wrong by doing this. So if you have the extra time and if you don't have other obligations out there, but you do have some spare time, just think about the time that you're spending, relaxing or looking at TV or surfing on the internet, these things that are not really making you any money. If you do that, cut some of that stuff out and start focusing your time and energy on money-making ideas, money-making activities, it will help you. And you don't have to do this forever and ever in life, but it could be you do it for 6 months. Could be you do it for a year, get a jump on things, and then you can let it go. But if you're doing it to pay down your debt or have specific goals in mind, it usually works a lot better for you. You'll stay at it until you hit that goal, and then you can move on to something else. But it takes, your effort, your time, and your energy. Focus on the right thing to get this. If you do it early enough, you guys, when you get older in life, older in age, you won't have to do it as much or work as hard because you already have a good nest egg to start from. So keep that in mind when it comes to net worth. So hopefully this has been helpful to you, and you kind of know the difference of if you are really rich or if you're just getting by. You probably already knew that before I pointed it out to you, but just the main thing is if you're making a great salary, but you're spending everything that you're making, the net worth is not growing. So we want to make sure our net worth is growing. And if you put it into something that you cannot touch, such as the 401k, Roth IRA, those are retirement accounts, so you can't dip into those and take money out. That's specifically for when you retire. So that bucket, but it's sitting there. It's still your money. It's sitting there, and it's still a part of your net worth because it is an asset at that point working on your behalf and not a liability. Okay? And with that, I will see you in the next video.